In the second half of last year, we released a new free game that's available both playable fully in browser or on Quest VR headset if you have access to that to sideload. And it's a game where you are traveling through time in 4 different stages, controlling time going forward and backwards to line up shots with a railgun to start chain reaction explosions for maximum points. We had a lot of fun making it. It's called Time Cannon, and I want to share a short story today from one of our members on that team. Now, me and a bunch of members at HomeTeam built it together, along with the other 110 plus free games we've released from HomeTeam. But the story here from Ricard, where he said he had a background in software engineering and some professional mobile game development experience, and he was looking for a job where he can work with Unity and VR. He managed to get a job working on an exciting VR game in Unity, and one of the reasons he was able to get the job is because he sharpened his resume in HomeTeam, and because he had a credit on a VR game in HomeTeam, Time Cannon. At the interview, he was honest about the fact that his involvement was only a small part of a larger team, and not even on a VR-specific part. But having it on his resume was enough to get him the interview in the first place. He really appreciates the existence of HomeTeam in this world where getting a game dev job with little previous relevant experience is like a steep vertical climb that can seem impossible to make. HomeTeam is a force of good and a lot of fun. And so a few things I want to point out about his story. So first of all, like you mentioned, he already had some background, right? And this is something where out of HomeTeam's members, we have an enormous range, and some people come in with no development experience whatsoever. None. Between my intro courses, between our materials resources and processes, we can help get them ramped up. In other cases, like him, he already had some software engineering background. Some people look at what we've done, and because we've helped people who are totally new, they get the wrong idea that it's only for people who are just starting out. We have members join who, like he said, he's worked professionally on mobile games. But we want to help migrate to an opportunity that allowed him to do Unity and VR. And this is a pattern we've seen again and again with people where when they have in their portfolio a project that has some relevance to where they're applying for a gig or a contract or freelance thing, it's something that if they can see some intersection between, okay, you've done VR, great, that's what we're working on. Oh, okay, you've done, you name it, right? Puzzle game, action game, infinite runner, spaceship flying, submarine, whatever the thing is, if you've done something related to what they're looking for, a scrolling shmup, it improves the odds of them lowering their risk concerns, their confidence that you can navigate the kind of thing, even if you might have been capable of doing it. Well, once you've added to your portfolio demonstrating that you've already done it before, it takes that concern out from their end. And that's a common part too of why we make so many projects. So even though they're long-term projects, any given point in time, we have multiple projects happening per HomeTeam community. So right now between our 3 communities, there's 13 games being made, with another 4 or 5 getting ready to pitch. And those are things that over the next month or two are going to get released, but we do all of our games on long schedules, but in parallel. And members move freely between projects to get practice in the parts that interest them, the tasks that interest them 1 week at a time. And because that increases the odds in their portfolio backgrounds that they can point to something that has a relevant intersection to any given opportunity that pops up. He also pointed out, he was upfront about the fact, right, it was part of a bigger team. And sometimes we get this wrong mental image that what's going to impress an employer is what we've done completely on our own. Which, unless you're looking for a gig where you're doing it completely on your own, they probably want you to be part of a team. They actually would rather see you've built something bigger, nicer looking, sounds better, feels better, plays better, more impressive, and more importantly, that involved collaborating with others, planning, working with an existing spec, writing code other people can read, looking at other people's code, or if you're doing asset side stuff, figuring out how to integrate what you're doing into a bigger pipeline, into formats and palettes and other things that come from team experience that really don't come from if you've done a bigger thing solo or on your own. Now, I also like to stress, just like we have within HomeTeam members who have a lot of experience or a little experience coming in, we also have people who are serving very different goals, right? So whereas Ricard's case, he was looking specifically to try to help improve his portfolio and sharpen his resume and land that job. For a lot of people, it's just something that they're doing for fun, for enrichment, to learn, to try out different things. Some cases, we have people who join who already have a game industry job, and what they're doing in our group is exercising other areas where they don't yet have that background to do certain other things in their workplace maybe, but in our projects that are freeware, that are for practice, that are just being done because people want to grow and stretch and try out different skills, have a place to apply what they're learning in tutorials. It's a very different environment where they can do whatever they want because they want to do it, and we help support that, train them through it, help answer the questions about it, connect them to others that are doing it in a way that ultimately, importantly, releases on time. The other thing we've also seen in a lot of people's situation that we're kind of often their best answer for is when they've either hit the limit of what they can do totally solo on their own, and again, it's partly from realizing that when they hit that plateau of what they can do solo, it's also not necessarily going to impress some outside party they're trying to get the attention of who actually wants to see you can work with a team, you can coordinate, you can collaborate, you can make and adapt plans in a way you don't have to if you're solo. With a team, they know that that's part of what you've gone on because usually the gig is with other people. This is also something that if someone has hit the limit of what they can do in a game jam time frame, they feel like they've done jams, been doing jams for a while, but kind of hit the limit of what they can fit into 48 hours. People often struggle when they're trying to get to the bigger schedules, when they're trying to deal with that lull in the middle between it's exciting up front when every single thing you do is adding a new feature, and every single thing you do is, well, I couldn't jump, now I can. I couldn't shoot, now I can. There were no power-ups, now there are. On the other end, in the final stretch, it's exciting because every single thing is putting kind of a cherry on top, finishing touches, kind of, sweeping some things under the rug. But one piece at a time is kind of coming to fruition and ready to show a stranger and polished. In a game jam, it goes straight from that excitement of the prototype to excitement of the release. And a longer term schedule, there's a much more different type of discipline that comes up from being able to put the work aside and come back to it. To be able to plan out many more tasks in ways that complement and fit together. To be able to iterate, experiment, explore, adapt. And it's just a very different kind of process that helps to get practice at, but is much more difficult to see those things get released if you don't have some support, some guidance, some mentorship, some teammates like we do in HomeTeam. So that's often where we've also seen ourselves helping people. But whatever situation you're interested in, I do encourage, if you're thinking about, hey, maybe I want to make games for freeware, for practice with people in HomeTeam, you can find out more about our approach at HomeTeamGameDev.com. You can apply from there, and this is actually a great time to apply, right? We're about to start a new quarter. Like I said, we've got several projects that are about to pitch. Exciting time to get involved. So I look forward to building games together, and I'll see you in HomeTeam.